Hi, this is Reggie from Resort Plus Physical Therapy, and in today's tip of the day, I will discuss how you can sit less and incorporate movement into your daily life so you can live longer. Because an article that I came across recently it says that when you sit less, you actually live longer, which does make complete sense because when you sit less, you're moving more, so you incorporate some exercises, you get into better health, and that contributes to you living longer, right? So I want to give you 10 tips on how to be able to incorporate movement into your daily life, all right? Have you felt like you feel sluggish, you're tired, you're depressed? I think a lot of people have felt that way. That's something that I hear a lot from patients. And my recommendation to them is, I want them to move more, want them to exercise. Actually, even if they do their own research, they know that that's what they should do, right? Now, not moving makes you feel sluggish, like I mentioned earlier, makes you tired, depressed, everything. It not only affects you physically. A lot of times we think it just affects us physically. Oh, I might have heart problems, I might have cholesterol, things like that, diabetes, but it affects us more than just our health, right? It affects us in our relationship with our family, with our loved ones. It affects our finances because feeling that way doesn't let you excel at work or even in school. So it affects the financial part also. So it affects more than just our health. So with all these things, that gives you an idea of how important it is to be healthy and to be moving, right? So, and then that article says you actually live longer, and that's the biggest point there. All right. Now, when I tell people that, the most common response I get is, I don't have time. So I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to set aside, an hour, 2 hours to work out. So I can't incorporate that into my daily, in my life. Now, I want to give you, like I mentioned earlier, 10 tips on how you can incorporate that into your daily life without having to set aside, that much time. Okay, I want to make it as simple as possible, so that way we shatter that false belief that I have to set aside this much time, and I want to get rid of that excuse. Okay, so the tip number one is, don't be busy. Don't be too busy for it. You make time. So that's my first step. Make time for it. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you have to set aside an hour or two. There are exercises that can be done in shorter periods of time. Right? The the chronic pain and wellness program that I'll be coming out, that I'll be launching, involves movement or exercises as little as 8 minutes a day. All right, so it doesn't have to be very long. And if it's as little as 8 minutes a day, if you cannot devote that 8 minutes a day to movement, to exercise, to get better health, to live longer, then you have a lot more serious problems involved. Okay, so it doesn't have to be very long. So don't look to be too busy. You make time for it, but it can be short exercises also, as long as they are the right kind of exercise, the right intensity, it's hitting the right muscles. It will give you a pretty good workout. So that's number one tip. Now, number two is, this is very common. We live in, especially here in New York, we have buildings everywhere. Number two is, take the stairs. This I see when I come into a building, at work, or when I used to live in an apartment. When I go in to the lobby, first thing is you have the elevator there. And sometimes I see there's a line to the elevator, even though the steps are just right next to it. And there's a long line, people willing to wait. All right, so I want you to start taking stairs. If you get tired, winded, or you're out of shape, you don't want to go up steps for whatever reason, then at least start going down. All right, because going down is a lot easier. So start doing that. At least it gets you moving, burns a few calories, rather than not doing it at all. Then if you get better, or when you get better, you actually start incorporating going up, because that it works you more. Okay, so that's my tip number two. And then the third one that I want to share is, I want you to walk instead of driving, or instead of commuting. Walk a few blocks, going to work, going to the grocery, walking gets you moving, get your heart rate, get your blood flowing, so it incorporates movement. So that's something that I want you to do, and that's easy enough. So don't get too used to taking the bus, the train, or driving, right? So incorporate more walking. Now, if you are already walking, now what I want you to do is I want you to pick up the pace. Instead of walking leisurely, do some brisk walking for certain periods of time. Because when you walk, when you do brisk walking, you pick up the pace there, get your heart to work fast, get your heart to work harder, so it actually works you out more. Okay, so you get better benefits. So that's what I want you to do. Now, if you are, if let's say you cannot walk, you don't want to walk for whatever reason, and you want to really drive, what I want you to do is when you drive, park a few blocks away from where you are going. So that way you can walk maybe a block or two going to your destination. All right. That will incorporate a little bit of movement, and that will give you that little bit of workout also. So park a little further away and then walk. So don't be too lazy. Don't park right in front of the building and then just walking in, because that limits how much you can walk. All right. So that's one thing. And if you're commuting, same thing. Maybe stop, get off the bus a couple blocks away, couple stops away. If it's a train, even if it's a train, maybe one subway stop away. Usually a one subway stop is doable. It's a walkable distance, right? I've done that myself, especially if the train is it's not working, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of us have done that, especially if you're taking the 7 train, which often has problems. But even if it's other trains, that's something that you can do. All right, you incorporate the get that walking in. All right. So tip number 6 that I want you to do is I want you to start cleaning or doing house chores. All right, because studies have shown that as you're doing house chores, aside from getting you working out physically, it actually is good for your mental and emotional health, because it gives you that control over your environment. And doing house chores in kids actually leads to more successful adults. All right, so I want you to start doing house chores or start doing cleaning, so that way you get a little bit of a workout also at home. All right. Now, number 7 is when you're shopping, I want you to use a shopping basket instead of the shopping cart. Most places that I go to the grocery, people will be pushing cart around, and that people will be even leaning on the carts. Like, I don't even know if they're so tired or so weak that they cannot even stand up. I see that a lot. All right. So using the shopping carts, so it's like you're lifting weights. So that way you can work your muscles, get you better endurance also. And think of it this way: if you're lifting it up and it's too heavy, maybe that will limit the amount of money you're gonna spend too, right? But if it's for groceries, then at least you get a decent workout also. All right, so I want you to use the shopping cart instead of a shopping basket. And let's say when you're at home, I want you to move while you're watching TV. A lot of us, get hooked on TV. They had so many things now, either reality shows, Netflix, whatever, streaming services, sports. We'll be sitting there, on the couch, legs up, relaxing and everything with popcorn or whatever, or chips. Now, what I want you to do is, this I do myself. I don't know why, but it's just me. I actually stand up while watching TV. Not all the time, but a lot of times. Maybe because I'm so used to standing and walking around here at work. All right, so I'll be watching TV, standing up, and not only that, I'll be, like marching in place. You can do a lot of things. You can be walking around, that gets you moving. It's a little bit, but it's better than nothing, all right? So, and with the amount of time that I see people watch TV nowadays, if you use a pedometer, you can pretty good, get a pretty good number of steps there, all right? So that's another thing, that's number 8. Then number 9 I want you to do is play with your kids or play with your pets. Now, in New York, we have, a lot of parks here. You can actually have, bring your pets to the dog run or something. So that way, get you moving, get you a little bit of a workout there, get you walking, right? Now, with the kids, same thing. When you bring them to the park, for me, when I bring my son to the park, I don't know who gets tired actually, him or me, who gets more tired, because I see a lot of parents when they go to the park, they're sitting, you know, somewhere on the bench. Sometimes they're like, they can't even see their kids anymore, right? They'll be busy on their phone, you know, iPad or whatever. For me, I'm different. When I bring my son to the park, I'm on top of him. You know, I watch him like, you know, like a hawk, because, you know, nowadays, you know, we don't know what's gonna happen. You know, it's crazy times. So I want to make sure that he'll be safe, and sometimes accidents happen. I want to make sure that I'm there in case he falls down or something. All right, but that gives me a bit of a workout. So, or you can play ball with your kids, play sports, things like that. So those are things that can get you working at the same time, having that bonding time with your kid, or let's say with your pet. You know, you're enjoying the time, but at the same time, it's actually good for your health. And then, so that's number 9. And number 10 is, while you're working, I want you to work out. And what do I mean by that? I want you to have like workout breaks when you're working. All right. So let's say, you know, every half an hour, get up, you know, walk to, you know, the other end of the building, the other end of the hallway, you know, go to the bathroom, pick up something, you know, whatever. Just take breaks in between. It increases your walking, it increases your movement, right? So then you get a little bit of a workout there. If you work in a setting like I do here, actually I haven't really measured how many. I should actually do that, how many steps I take each day, going back and forth, you know, between patients and paperwork and everything. So that's what I want you to do when you're working. Try to get that workout breaks in between. All right, so that's number 10. So those are my 10 tips on how you can incorporate movement, how you can sit less, and you know, in your daily life, and live longer and be healthier. All right, so if you like this video, feel free to share it with your family, friends, and people you know. Feel free to leave your comment below. I want to hear that. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Instagram. All right, and then also we are going to be launching a chronic pain and wellness program. I'll keep everybody posted. Do let me know if you are interested. We are going to be taking you know, volunteers or participants for our beta program. All right, so till next time, stay safe and be pain-free. Bye.